This week we have one doctor's appointment, and we have somebody coming over that you guys get to meet this week. She comes over twice a week to help take care of my dad and gives me a little bit of a break on some of the things. They have a great rapport, but her name is Sam, and you'll get to meet her. Okay, so we went shopping at the commissary to get some groceries. Me and my husband are both plant-based, and I have my dad plant-based currently. I've been taking over making his meals and stuff. So he's plant-based as well. Don't judge my Christmas bags. I love these things. They're amazing. They hold so much, and that's the only way I'll shop. And I don't use the plastic bags and stuff. But I'm going to show you some things that we get from the commissary that are plant-based. So what we have in here is some of the goodies from shopping. These right here are awesome sausages. They actually come in a couple different flavors. The commissary is the only one I can find that actually has the sweet sausage, the sweet Italian one. And they have spicy and original. These are amazing. They taste great. We put them in everything. Any sauces, just add them with veggies, with omelets, anything. We usually use just egg for our omelets. And our creamer is usually a almond or coconut based creamer. These are really good. And then these burritos, the commissary has started carrying, which are super yummy, dairy free burritos. These are yummies. Are you awake, Dad?
I'm awake.
All right, today we're going to talk about my mom and my dad. Tomorrow will be their 49th anniversary.
Really?
Yeah, 49. 49th anniversary.
And she's still good looking.
She passed away. But we still celebrate their anniversary. So today we're going to actually talk about some stories of how they met, because they met 15 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. So about 15 years old they met. So we're going to talk about some stories when he was younger and how they met and how that went. So Dad, you go ahead.
Okay. Well, we were living, or the way that my beautiful wife and I met was at a dance in Roberts Park. Roberts Park School on Thursday would allow the kids in the area to have what we call a teen-in. Somebody would bring a record player and some records, and we were allowed to dance in the hallways of the school. That's how I met my beautiful wife. In that time frame, there were neighborhoods, and my wife lived in a higher class neighborhood. She went to a school that was in Palos Heights or Palos Hills, somewhere there, which was quite a ways away from us, maybe 3, 4, 5 miles. To come down, I guess, in our neighborhood, you didn't do that. I mean, we knew everybody, we knew every kid, we knew their families. It was our world. And if you came there, you were looking for trouble. She would come down with two of her girlfriends, Dottie Maupin and Ruth. I can't remember Ruth's last name, but Donnie, my wife, thought this was just exciting as hell, you know. Dottie Maupin, and Ruthie were bigger, taller than the girls in our neighborhood.
Yeah, mom was pretty tall.
Yeah. And so if you can imagine the size of my sister, my sister was not real tall.
We're short little Italians.
Right, but my sister was one of the leading badasses. Donnie at the time was going with a guy named Donnie Day. Donnie Day and Bobby Neer were the only two guys in the neighborhood there that were basically the badasses, and they both had motorcycles. And us guys, you know, all we had was our feet and a bicycle. Anyway, Donnie was going with Donnie Day at that time. So anyway, and she came to the teen-in, and I thought she was the best-looking thing that ever walked the face of the earth. My sister did not appreciate Donnie and her girlfriends, and they were going to have a discussion.
Well, Mom was coming into her territory.
That's right.
That was her territory, her men. Those were her guys.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you didn't mess around. So my sister Judy was going to whip up on her. Well, she was going to have a reasoning, and and I had to calm my sister down, tell her not to do that, because I was kind of interested in Donnie, because I knew I was probably going to have to fight Donnie Day in order to win my wife. Anyway, I talked my sister out of it. After the dances, sometime during the dance and after it, we'd all go down to the local delicatessen, and there we'd go ahead and play the jukebox and have sodas and that type of thing. Donnie came in with her girlfriends. She walked over to the jukebox to play something. And me, it's cool. I mean, I was cool. I was cool.
You thought you were.
And I walked up behind her. I couldn't think of anything to say. So the only thing I said was, play something good, okay?
Did you have a pipe or something?
Yeah, oh, hell yeah, I was dressed.
You had like...
I had a jacket on. I had a pipe. I mean...
and you were, how old were you?
15.
15.
Hey, I was cool. I was cool. Dang, don't make fun. I was cool. And so I can't remember what song she played, but she did play something nice. And then I started talking to her. Donnie and I, we respected each other. I'd been many fights in Roberts Park. Let me put it this way. The police didn't even come into Roberts Park. And Donnie and I had respect for each other, because we knew if we went to Fifth City, it was going to be held Katie bar the door. In fact, just real quick here, on the back streets, way back where the prairie starts, is where all the fights were. And there was a long ways to get to the street to get your little happy ass out of there. I got in a fight back there with at that time there was like 3 carloads.
Oh, is this the one? Is this
Yeah.
the story? Okay, yeah. I
Yeah.
like this story.
David, I think his name was David Bouchard. He wanted a piece of me, which no problem. I mean, we can do this. David and I first, now you have to really understand all this. Later on we went with knives and guns and all that shit. But at this time, it was just beat your ass. So David started with wrestling. I whipped his ass. Then we went to boxing, and I whipped his ass. And then we went to karate. What the hell is karate? What the hell does that look like? I don't know what the hell that looks like. And so he started doing all this dancing around, and I said, I got no idea what the hell's going on. I probably need to get my little happy ass out of here. I'd already beaten his ass. I took off. I had no vehicles, just my feet. And I ran, and those cars were coming. I mean, they were after my ass bad. I ran to Donnie Day's house. Donnie opened the door, and he said, what the hell's going on? And I said, well, I got 3 carloads after me, I need to get home. And I told him about the fight and everything. And I said, would you help me get the hell out of here? Because Donnie also had a car. See, and Donnie could drive. Anyway, Donnie said, yeah. He says, go ahead and get in the car. So I got in the car. Donnie comes out, gives me he either gave me a 45, like a pistol, or he gave me a sawed-off shotgun. And he had weapons also. And he said, if they get close, shoot them. I said, okay, that sounds like a good idea. We can do that. Well, hell, they're coming around the corner, and Donnie peels out of his driveway, and I'm hanging on, hanging on for dear life. Donnie drove me to the house, to my house, and stopped, and he started to get out, and I said, no, This is my fight. I said, you get the hell out of here. So Donnie took off, and I went in the house, and I went ahead and got my stepfather had a 300 Savage rifle, bolt action. And I grabbed that sucker, and I come out that front door, kneeled down on the sidewalk in front of the house, and aiming at that first car coming around the corner, ready to pull that trigger, and all of a sudden something hit me in the back of the friggin' head. The rifle went running, or went somewhere, and I went somewhere, and I looked around, and it was my mother with a broom, just beating the dog shit out of me. And they're going by in the car, laughing as I'm getting my ass beat. I could not believe it. Anyway, Donnie Day saved my ass after that. After that, him and Donnie like broke up, which was great. Oh, by the way, Donnie, her high class, she went to a high school called Carl Sandburg, which was kind of high class thing. You know, that was the area that she lived in. So for her to come down to our area, she was slumming. And it was exciting for her because
She was going across the tracks,
Right,
to the south side.
that's right. She came down to see what the hell it was like. I started going with Donnie at 15. Her mother didn't much like me, and like I gave a big rat's ass about that shit. I used to sneak up at night up. You got to understand, she lived about 4 or 5 miles away. And I walked those 4 or 5 miles. Well, I had to go through areas that weren't Roberts Park. And I had to contend with these punks that thought they were badasses. Well, that didn't last very long, and I continued to walk. Nobody gave me any shit. I'd have to sneak. They lived like on a hillside. And I had to sneak up that damn dirt-ass road real quiet, and Donnie would like meet me outside. And we'd kiss and hug and just had a nice time. Her mother didn't like me because, I don't know, because I was Italian or what, or I've got no
You
idea.
weren't high class.
Well, I
She
definitely
wanted
am.
high class for mom.
Yeah, well, her mother can kiss my little royal ass. Donnie and I were very close. Now get this. Her mother, they lived in a 2-story house. Her mother would sit in the windows in the attic with a friggin' shotgun, trying to get a beat on me to shoot my ass. You believe that crap? And Donnie used to tell me, be careful there. Her mom was up there, She made it.
It's 51 degrees today.
Guess who's going for a walk today?
Totally going for a walk.
Well, I get my shoes on, I will.
This is Sam. She helps take care of my dad. So, how many stories have you heard?
Oh wow. Yeah, a lot.
He tells a lot of stories about
I get
anything.
I get at least one new one a day
And you've been with us for
since September. Was
it's
it
been a
September?
month. I
It's
can't
been
remember.
several months.
It's been a long
It's been a
time.
while.
Yeah.
Yeah, feels like it's been a while.
So this is my partner in taking care of my dad. She's awesome. We love her.
Hey, beautiful.
Are you happy you got out to do a walk?
Oh, I am so happy I could just shit a squealing worm. I am so
It's been too
so
cold.
excited.
It's been too cold too long.
Anyway, Donnie and I, years down the road, we go out dancing, and your mother could dance. Of course, I could too. I was Italian. What the hell? We'd go to a place called Lake and Park Inn. They had a guy there named Wild Willie. Wild Willie could dance he was a fool, but he could dance, and everybody stood in awe. Once he got on the floor, everybody else backed up to watch him do that. Well, that lasted about 2 trips, and then Donnie and I took over, and man, she could dance. Of course, like I say, I could too. We just tore that place apart. I mean, people just loved us, But my wife was the best thing that ever happened to me. I think basically she kept me out of jail. I was not a nice person. I was geared for the jail, but that's the way that I grew up. It was a good time. I think it was a good time in my life. I learned a lot about life. My sister grew up short little shit, but she was a badass.
Wasn't Donnie Day on that submarine?
Oh
When
yeah,
first-
yeah. I'm sorry. Thank you, Chan. Yeah, Donnie Day went into the Navy. Submarine called the Thresher went down too far and had no way to get back up from under the sea. Donnie was the radio man on the Thresher, and he sent the last message out that they would not be able to come up. And as far as I know, he's still at the bottom of wherever they were at when that happened. He left behind a wife and a little daughter. And that's a damn shame. Donnie had a good heart. That would be like him, you know. Take it all the way to the end.
Last week, it snowed and there was ice and salt everywhere. Our poor car got completely covered in salt. So we are cleaning the poor car today. She has all her salt off of her, and I'm sure she feels much better.
My daughters were jarring my memory. Donnie had eye teeth that would make you think of a werewolf. And one time, one of those horror movies they had on television all the time, her and I were watching it, and then I had to walk home in the dark about 10:30 at night. Had just got through watching the werewolf movie. I was walking in front of Donnie. She said something. I turned around. She smiled, and I had something in my hand, a club or something, and I drew back, and I would have knocked the clean dog shit out of her had she ever growled or took a step for me. And she just froze, talked to me, and identified, because I was going to kill her right there.
What is it with you and werewolves?
I don't know, but I don't like them. They bite the piss out of you. Consequently, her and I never watched those kind of movies again. Anyway,
I think we're gonna stop it there. You got a lot of stories about my mom, my dad,
yeah.
and the hoodlums that they were.
Your mama was the best thing that ever happened in my life. She was the most beautiful, other than my daughters. She was the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Still is.
I hope you enjoy them, and there will be more.